So welcome to another video, and as you can see we're out. I've just got here. I'm at Haslar Wall tonight. The reason I'm at Haslar Wall is because there's a bit of wind, and looking at the map there's a bit of shelter from this here wall behind me, which makes things perfect. It's about 4:15 at the moment. High tide's at 6:30, so just about bang on I think. I haven't got any rods out or anything yet, literally just got here. So the idea now is to just a little intro, say hello. We're out fishing. Get a couple of rods set up, get them out into the sea and see if we can catch some fish. That's the plan. So I've just had a little flick with just a plain leg, just to sort the line out a little bit. And now I'm going to reach for a 3-up flapper and put a rig out. Now the idea, is to fish small with a 3-up flapper, size 2s, and see if we can catch a whiting that I can use as bait. Seems to be loads of whiting around at the moment, so I think whiting are going to be the staple diet of most of the fish that are swimming around, most of the decent sized predatory fish anyway. And off of this wall, chance of codling, chance of congers, chance of bass, obviously dogfish. Big ships going by and there's loads of waves. But it looks lovely. There's a group of anglers just down a bit further, a couple of 100 yards that way. Nobody this way towards the car park, so I'm just by one of the little rows of steps. If you're going to fish Haslar Wall, get by some of the steps. So if you do get anything a bit decent, you can go down the steps and get a bit closer to the water's edge, because it is quite a drop. But yeah, I'm going to get this 3-up flapper on, get it out into the sea, and we can start fishing. It's absolutely lovely over here, especially behind this wall. I know that it's windy tonight. It's been 40-mile-an-hour winds today, and it's dropped to about sort of late teens. So I know elsewhere on the beach it's going to be quite windy. But right here behind this wall, it's absolutely lovely. And driving over, I realised that I forgot my jacket. I left my jacket hanging on the back of the door. And I thought, that could be an issue. But it's not. I've got my thermals on and my little hoodie. I do need to get a better hoodie. I want to get a decent, thick winter hoodie. That'd be better. But yeah, 3-up flapper out there, lug on each hook, size 4s. So I am scratching at the moment. I am scratching to try and catch a whiting. And then as soon as I catch a whiting, I'll set the other rod up. If it's a big whiting, then I'll probably cut it in half and stick a pen or rig out or a dongle or something like that with a big whiting bait on. And if it happens to be a small whiting, then I might even live bait it. So it's all waiting on this first fish right now. I'm just going to nip down and get some water in the bucket. So just keeping an eye on that rod tip, and I've had a series of rattles on there now. So I've got a feeling that on one of them 3 hooks there's a whiting. So I'm going to wind it in and have a look, and I'm going to assess the rig that I'm going to be putting out on the size of whiting. If it's a decent whiting, I can chop it in half. I'll put it out as like a half bottom bait. But if it is a small one, I'll slide it down the line on a slider and use it as a live. Because there's every chance that there's a big old bass sitting out there, chomping its way through hundreds of whiting. And I wouldn't want to spoil his fun, would I? So don't all laugh at once, but I wound in and there was nothing on there. The baits were all untouched. But I definitely had a rattle. So there's definitely fish out there. So now I'm wondering, do I set up the second rod and just put like a whole squid out while I'm waiting for the whiting? I think I've just answered my own question. Let's get the second rod out. Here we go. And that is 11 pound 12 ounce conger reel. And for me that is a PB by quite some distance. Really chuffed with that. Half a squid on a pennel. And it was just on the little top pennel hook, which I think was a 2.0. Managed to just drag him halfway up and then sort him out from there. But yeah, what a cracking fish. 11, 12. Well chuffed with that. I'm going to get him back in the water now. Fantastic. Well, I've got to admit, I'm a little bit gobsmacked. What a fish. I didn't expect it. I just wasn't expecting it. I'm fishing with a 3/0 flapper to try and catch a whiting so I can use that as a live bait or as a dead bait or whatever. I didn't really have a plan. That was my plan, and I hadn't caught a whiting yet, so I thought I'd just set the other rod up. I put a small pennel on with I think it was the 3/0 and a little 2/0 as the pennel. And I was just looking around. I thought, put a couple of sand eels out maybe. But I cut a squid in half and I put half a squid on, wrapped it on and just threw it out. And that reel has got a level wind on it. It doesn't go very far. And a guy was fishing just down the way and he came along just to have a chat, see how I got on, tell me what he'd caught. I looked up and said, I've got a rattle on that rod, I reckon that's a dogfish. And he said, it looks a bit congerish, that bite. As soon as I picked the rod up, it was flat rodding me. It was really pulling. Really powerful fish the whole way in. And it was really exciting, just waiting for the visual at the bottom of the wall. And as soon as its head come up, massive conger. I've never caught a conger anywhere near that size before. And then I noticed it was just a pennel that was in his corner of his mouth. So I had to kind of try and drag him up and get him to a flat bit so that I could wrap him in a tea towel, just so I could get hold of him, because I couldn't hold it to get it up the rest of the steps because it's a bit precarious and the steps are a little bit slippery. But yeah, 11 pound 12 ounces, what a fish. Proper chuff with that. My hands are minging though. Jesus. I've got stinky, slimy, stinky stuff. So yeah, I'm all at 6s and 7s at the moment. I've wound in the flapper rod and again there's nothing on there. Tiny little strips of squid on each hook, and the strips of squid are gone but the lug's still there and there's no fish, so I've just flicked it back out again. And I think the plan now is to put another bit of squid out on the other rod, I think. Craziness. I was lucky he was there, to be honest, because he came down with me, and with the rod and the rig and the fish it was just all too much, so he grabbed the rod and I bit the rig off, and then I just had the fish to worry about, to contend with. But yeah, big powerful fish. You've got to be careful with them because they got a bit of a chomp on them. Conger's that big. But thankfully I didn't get too close to its mouth to find out how strong his bite was. But yeah, chuffed to bits, absolutely chuffed to bits. Well worth coming out. I was sort of sitting here, sort of 20 minutes ago thinking, not getting any weight in. Don't bring a coat. It's starting to get a little bit chilly. I'm not cold by any means, but I can just feel it on my neck, you know. But it's made it all worthwhile. So I think I'm going to put a double sand eel out now, just for a try, just until we get a whiting to play around with. So the rods are back out now. What a fantastic evening it is. This wall gives so much shelter. I know that it's going to be blowing a hoolie, 20-mile-an-hour winds down the beach where I normally go, down by the coffee cup. It would have been a nightmare to put the shelter up. The bow in the line would have been just not easy fishing. But this is just lovely and comfortable. No shelter, no coat, no food or drink either. It's not going to be a long session though. It's never destined to be that. I just wanted to get out and have a little play, itch and itch, and have a little go. No way did I expect to catch such a magnificent fish. So a series of taps on the flapper rod. I wound it in half expecting to see the whiting that I'm actually trying to catch on size 4s and tiny little strips of squid. And we've got a doggy. And it fought really well. and I'm happy catching doggies. I do like doggies. I've got no problem with doggies, unless we get to sort of 10 or 11 of them. Then they can be a little bit annoying, but no, he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool, I quite like him. So I'm going to put him back, I'm going to get some more strips of squid on, and I'm going to put it back out, and I'm going to try and catch a white. Fingers crossed. So it's high tide now, and we're catching dogfish on little strips of squid meant for whiting. Do you know what, it doesn't matter if I catch a whiting or not now. Caught a dogfish, caught a brilliant conger, absolutely magnificent fish. And it's just a lovely evening. Starting to get a little bit nippy, and when I was down there landing that conger, I was on the bottom step and the wave come over and soaked my right foot, and because it's all wet, that foot's starting to get really cold now. So I don't think I'm going to be here much longer. I think I've itched an itch. I think I've been out and caught a couple of fish. I've flexed the rods a little bit. Yeah, I've done what I set out to do. I don't want to flog it. I don't want to sit here for ages. I think I'd like to give it another half an hour, watch a few ferries go by. Car ferries backwards and forwards, obviously. But yeah, I think I'd like to stay here for about another half an hour and then see where it goes. If the rods are a bit quiet, then I'll probably pack up and go home happy. But I'm definitely going to come fishing down here a bit more. And I want to fish it at low water, just to see what that does. Definitely worth a go. Definitely an interesting spot. And it's definitely worth remembering that when the wind is howling that way, this has got a bit of shelter. And that's brilliant. Because I am a little bit of a fair weather fisherman. There's a few spots of rain on the way over and I'm thinking, hey, what? Why? That wasn't forecast. Whose idea was this? But obviously it's really clear now. Lovely white fluffy clouds in the sky. Big old moon. And there's a planet next to it. I think it might be Venus. There's a few lads fishing down the way, enjoying themselves on a Thursday night. Just had a chat with a local walking his dog, lovely chap. And that's what it's all about. It's about being out and having a chat with people, catching a few fish, enjoying yourself. And I'm certainly doing that. So I think that's about it for me. I'm going to wind these two rods in, start packing away, and I'm going to head off home. I've been here for about 3 hours and it's been a really enjoyable 3 hours. I've loved it down here. And coming down here to get shelter from this wall, with the wind that we've got at the moment, watching the clouds hurtling by above, it's worked wonders. And we've caught an absolutely magnificent fish. There's one I'm not going to forget for a very, very long time. And a dogfish. But yeah, really enjoyable session. Thanks for watching the video. But yeah, I must get back now and sort this foot out before I have problems. So yeah, wind them in, get packed away, get back to the car, get home, a shower and a cup of coffee, and then I'll edit this video up, and then we can start planning and arranging for the next one, because I have got time off now over Christmas. I doubt I'm not going to be able to fish now before Christmas, so happy Christmas to all of you and your families. Hope you all have an absolutely fantastic time. Happy New Year, and sometime between now and when we go back to work, I'll get out fishing again and I'll do another little video for you, and we'll see what we can catch. So tight lines, happy Christmas, see you later.